Welcome to Hip Hop and Fashion. I'm your co-host, Mr. Wayne, alongside your lovely co-host, Miss Shantrell Wade. And how are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Hey, I'm blown away. You know why?
Why?
Because we have a guest in the house that goes by the name of Gian Smith, who's a writer, a poet, and man, I had the pleasure of watching him.
Yes.
But I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let this man tell the people who he is and what are some of the things that he's done.
Yes, welcome.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good. Thanks for gracing us with your presence.
Well, thank y'all for having me. Appreciate it.
So, Gian, tell us a little bit about your role. I understand you're a screenplay writer and poet as well.
Well, actually, I do those things. What I'm kind of most noted for at this point is I'm actually in the season 2 trailer. So before the season started, they had like the little teaser video, like, when you go to the movies, you see the audiences, this is X-rated, or this is not rated. Like, they had one of those for the show, and I actually was asked to perform a poem that I had written about Katrina a couple of years earlier for the commercial, and it was just me like sitting on a little step in a church performing, and then they had some cuts of the actual show that were going on.
Now let me just make sure this is Treme that we're talking about.
Treme, HBO's Treme.
Yes. Okay. So you have actually had a role in Treme.
I did, and then so I was separately from being on the commercial. I was actually asked to perform a piece. I was asked to be on a panel with the creators of the show by a friend of mine, and they saw me, and I did an original piece that I'd written about the neighborhood of Treme, not the show.
Okay.
And they liked it, so they said, "Oh yeah, can you do that on the show?" And I was like, "Yes, I can."
Easily.
Yes. How many times you need me to do it?
All right. What an opportunity. And it seems like you're fitting, like you're obviously becoming for the role, and so tell us a little bit about like the poetry side.
Well, so that's when I came back from Katrina, I really wanted to get more into the culture, the creative side of it, because I lived here before Katrina, 26-ish years. I'm gonna call out my age. But I lived here before Katrina, and I would go out to events like the open mics, and I'd go listen to the live music, and I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. But I kind of took it for granted a little bit, just because I didn't think there would be a chance when I would lose it. And then when I went away for the 3 months that I was displaced, I was like, I got to get back as soon as I can. I got to do what I can to cultivate the artistic scene, and so that's how I ended up starting to get into spoken word more.
Okay. Cool. And I do want to backtrack for a brief second for that role in Treme, because I just so happen to, off the set we have been having the time of our lives.
Yes.
It was 2 Sundays ago, that's correct, that episode in which there was a gentleman with a hat on that was doing spoken word poetry in a club.
I was that gentleman.
And if you watch Treme, he was that gentleman, because you said Unane.
And they said, who got the fire?
Unane.
Who got the fire?
I'm telling you, I was a good.
Cool. Wow. I'm shoved just on y'all.
Right.
Now.
Just this is strictly from New Orleans. Our viewers are just as tickled as you are, I know. And this is amazing to be graced with the presence of someone who's had something to do with the legend of our community in New Orleans, and just basically exhibiting things that are true and correct, but we can stand firm on those things.
Right. Yeah. And it's a pleasure, and I guess I'm so excited about it for the show Treme, because the writer and the producer of Treme, those were the same guys that wrote and produced The Wire, and that show has got critical acclaim. So I'm standing next to somebody that's on the show. I'm like a kid. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. Like
that's how I felt when I got to meet the guys, because I'm a big fan of The Wire too. And I met the guy, and I was like, man, this is like the dude, like a cult classic, like the best 5 seasons of television.
Wow.
This dude is, and he's asking me to like participate in his show, and and not only just to be in it, but he actually wanted to use my words, So somebody who has that kind of intellect for creating and writing drama, and he liked what I had to say. Man, I was blown away. Yeah,
Phenomenal,
that was nice.
Phenomenal, definitely, and I'm privileged, and you were privileged as well to be a part of that.
Oh yeah, it was all luck. I'll be honest with you. I do think that I'm a pretty good poet. I do. there are a lot of really good spoken word artists in the city of New Orleans, a lot. And I host a show. They all, come. We all kind of cycle through each other's shows. There's a lot of open mics in the city, and I sometimes I just hear these things that move me, and and they inspire words from me. I mean, so it was definitely fortunate because there's 5, 6, 10 other people that they could have picked who would have done just as good of a job, if not better, at the same thing. So,
Absolutely,
yeah, it was lucky.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Tell us a little bit about like your open mic, like what you participate in. What is that all about?
So I started an open mic. It's actually it's me and 3 other guys. One of them is Io Scott. I don't know if y'all know him. He's an artist in the city, visual artist, does graphic design. He also paints, and we got an opportunity to have access to an art gallery, and it's like, well, what do we want to do here? Let's throw an open mic, right? So we started doing that, and then me, him, the guy that I co-host with, his name is Alphonse, and my friend Mark. We just kind of did a little planning, little pre-planning, and then it's kind of it's real fluid. So we just kind of just dove in and said, well, we'll see what happens, and then it came out on the other side. It's a really nice event because it's a lot of it isn't the management part. A lot of it, like I said, is the very talented artists that come through. Because we also feature a lot of musicians. We have a lot of really good singers that come out and perform. And so it works on a lot of different levels because it's like there's all different kinds of talent, all different kinds of stimulation. And we're just kind of the forum for it. So
Cool. Well, before we take this call online, we want to ask you for someone that were interested in coming out to support it or to be a part of it. How may they contact you?
I'm on Facebook, Gian Smith. That's Gian Smith. For those of y'all that don't know how to spell it. Everybody,
right?
But it's and it's also you can if you look up the McKenna Museum for African American Arts, that's where we hold the open mic, and so there's something on their website about it. And it's kind of, we're not a once a week show during the summers. We're kind of like once a month, and so it's it's a little haphazard. So it's best to try to contact me and find out when. So, but we have a show this Thursday, June 2nd,
yeah.
June 2nd.
Yes.
So we have a show coming up. So if y'all are watching now, come out.
It's a good time to get in.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.